right? In case where the IGP can request the transfer of a case file for review or even appeal, especially if there are concerns about the conduct of investigation or the handling of the case by the DPP. So they act like a checks and balances. Are you getting the point?
Richie, can you read it again? Everything, because there's something we need to point out there. There are some salient points that
Okay.
key points we need to pay attention to. So read it. But this time
Okay.
I'm slowly.
Oh, slowly. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Point one: a case filed with the Director of Public Prosecution, which is the DPP, can be referred to the Inspector General of Police for review. But this depends on the purpose of the transfer and the legal framework in place. Yeah. Then say, okay, when can it happen? For further investigation, if the DPP finds gaps or needs additional evidence.
Pause there.
Mhm.
If the DPP finds gaps,
Mhm.
the DPP finds
Mhm.
gap,
But
we
at the
all
same time,
understand.
at the same
Let
time,
me-
1 minute, at the same time, the IGP can request the transfer of the case file
I
for
understand.
review. Hold on a second, let me finish this.
Okay,
Or
finish that.
appeal, especially if they are concerned about the conduct of the investigation or the handling of the case by the DPP. So they have like kind of checks and balances on each other.
Okay, good. So now let me now say something there. You see, if you look at it, you have just said it all. What I have said, my position is just what you have just read out. I was saying that that file has to move from, it is only the Attorney General that the file can move to IG. That was what I said, my position, but not from Panti. So the police that is telling someone that we have moved the case file to Abuja, that is wrong. That is impossible. That was what I've been saying. I was saying that it's not like it's not possible, but it has to be understand. Don't forget, remember, the DPP has taken over the case file. As a matter, they've taken over the whole case. So the case file rests with them. So how can somebody in
Yes.
Panti
Yes.
or somebody in Alagbon, a policeman, now be telling another civilian that we have transferred the case? What are you talking? This is the simple analysis I've been saying. And everybody was going.
Okay,
Mr. Ritchie, Mr.
I think
Ritchie,
we did this
sorry, can
talk.
you read that
Hold on,
same
Richie.
line again, please? Mr.
Hold
Ritchie,
on.
can you read that same line again where you said the IGP can ask for DPP to look at what they've been doing against things? You just said it. The last line you read.
The IGP
Thank
can
you.
request the transfer of a case file for review or even appeal, especially if there are concerns about the conduct of the investigation or the handling of the case by DPP.
I'll
Yeah.
ask Jack.
And let me just summarize with this before you go.
Okay.
In Nigeria, a case file can be transferred from the Director of Prosecution, which is DPP, to the Inspector General of Police under specific circumstances, primarily involving matters of public interest, national security, or when IGP deem it necessary for review, appeal, or special intervention in generally. So that we need to put that in perspective. So what I'm trying to say here is both of them seek each other's help in some situation, and they act as checks and balances on each other as well. If it works well, I think that's a good way to go.
Mr. Richie, let me just say this. Now, we ask questions all the time. We go to the police station all the time because I don't understand where Jack is coming from. So do you expect that we go in and asking question what is going on, and you expect the police to tell us that, oh, my friend, go and sleep, I'm working on it, the next day I'm working on it, and when it got to a point whereby he needs to tell us what we need to know, he telling us now that this is not on my table again, it has been moved to another table. Do you think police telling us that he had done wrong?
Sam Jojo.
Hold on.
Know what I'm saying?
Hold on, please.
You're getting me wrong.
Hold on, please. Answer the question. The way you are turning it as if, why would they
I'm
tell
not blaming you for it,
Now,
but I'm saying that the information he gave to you is
are
wrong.
blaming me.
He gave you wrong information. That's what
hold
I'm
on.
telling you. He has no file to
This
transfer.
is not about hold on.
He does not. He does not have that file anymore. He's just a fool. He does not have the file. Attorney General has the file, and it is at the whoever police that has told you that he's just a thief. He just wanted to tell you something. Attorney General would have been the one that would transfer the file. Is that not what they read out now? Did you read that it is Panty or whatever that will send the file?
Who transferred the file? Hold on now. Hold on. The Attorney General came down from Abuja.
The Attorney General will transfer it to the IG.
How? Is it not through somebody?
Through somebody, so they will take it to look at you. What you're saying now is just
no, Sammy Jojo. There's Attorney General of the state. Yeah, there's Attorney General of the state who can transfer to Attorney General of the Federation in Abuja.
Yes, I understand.
So, and the Attorney General of the state
is very
control. They control the DPP. The Attorney General of the state controls the DPP, which consists of the Director of Public Prosecutions and Department of Public Prosecution. So if the case has been handed to the DPP, the AG of the state would have seen it. So the AG of the Federation can request for it. So yeah, so yes, it's possible for the police that told you to have found out. Obviously, they would have known what's going on with the case if the case has been taken out of their hands. So they probably just told you it's not professional, but it's Nigeria. And thanks for letting us know as well.
The policeman should have said to him. The policeman should have said to him that he has information now that he is in the know now that the Attorney General has transferred that case file to the office of IG.
So maybe he just said we have transferred.
I have transferred it. I have transferred it.
No. Maybe he said we have transferred the case because they are all still a team.
He's police. He's not part of DPP. He's not part of Attorney General's office. So he can't.
But they also worked on the case and submitted information to the DPP.
They can be a spokesman for the DPP.
I understand what you're saying. But you see, let me tell you something. What is going on?
Thanks for that information, anyways. No more.
I understand what you're saying. You're right. You're right about that. But the truth is this. Let me tell you something. I know. The same way I knew inquest will yield nothing. The same way I knew that all of this whole thing that they were doing, will crash. That everybody will capsize. I knew. And the same way I still know that this one that they are talking about, if truly indeed they want to make that move, is still to fool the public. That's all. There's nothing they want to do. Nothing. But time, I like time. There's something I love about time. Time is the greatest revealer of all things. If anybody is acting smart or acting foolish, time is going to reveal who is smart and who is foolish, and who is probably just living in the shadow of others. So that's one thing I like about time. I know for a fact that as far as it stands, I 100% believe in the investigation that Dr. Kemi Oloyo did. That when she said that one person in the presidency is involved in the suppression of Mohbad's case, and 2 senators are involved, and who again, whether 3 senators or whatever, then 2 monarchs. So when I heard that, I know that is not just nonsense. I knew that she must have done. She had first. There is something she did. There's an investigation she did to know all that. So if anybody is thinking that woman is a fool or that woman doesn't know what she's talking about, you need to wake up from your eternal slumber, because the presidency, the IG, all of them, they know what they're doing on Mohbad's case. And that is why let me tell you something, because I hate to sound like this. I want to be sounding normal. When that was yesterday, I enjoyed the conversation, because when it has to do with this Mohbad case, it just because I know that there's nothing again unless another addition comes into play. But with these criminal people in power, these monsters, if you're still thinking anything will happen, they are telling you something and you're believing them the same way you believe them when they said they're going to give Mohbad justice. They exhumed the body. We're going to give Mohbad justice, and everybody just they're going to give, and then they play the fast one on you. If anybody is still believing them, then you're on your own. You will be disappointed at the end of the day. It's not me. You're messing with your own mental health. I don't mess with my mental health, and I won't allow anybody to mess with it, because I know the equation of what is going on. I know the result of whatever they are saying to you, because I know they're fooling you. They will continue to fool everybody, the public, because they know
Jack,
to be fooled.
I like what you said, but that's why we're here, right? We're working against the power that be, to make sure we get the right justice and putting true justice in place in Nigeria. Are you getting the point? I agree with what you said, but changes can be made. You know, it's not, it's constant, right? So you never know. I won't completely let
Dr.
that kind of
Kemi
negative.
Ololulo also said a cocktail of drugs which was not detected.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Dr. Kimmy at one point said cocktail of drugs, but in
No, but
both
yeah,
autopsies,
that's
nothing is
Jack's
detected.
belief on Dr. Kelly, but I know her very well, so I reserve my comment. Yeah, sometimes she says true, sometimes she doesn't say true. That's true. Yeah. So yeah, it's a reserved comment on that. But the truth of the issue is, we're here to make sure, as a true justice fighter, making sure that things are put in the right place, in the right perspective in Nigerian government. So we shouldn't be dismayed or kind of say, "Oh, let's leave it as it is." I don't like that. I'm a
No,
very positive minded
Richie.
person.
No,
I
Richie.
know.
It's not
Yeah,
like I'm saying let's leave it where it is. Let me tell you
yeah.
something. Let me tell you something, Richie. You see, if you look at look, there's something people are not getting in this whole Mohbad situation. I've seen a lot of I've seen evil, like, but this kind of evil is really horrendous. Look, the thing that really aches my heart every time is the fact that I know for a fact that the Lagos State government and the police, they never did any form of investigation in Mohbad's case. They just they just cooked up. They just said this is what we're gonna say. That's all. They never did anything. And just the same way there has been no advocacy for Mohbad ever since he died.
Jack, question for you. Jack, question for you. Good morning.
Good morning, African TV.
Good morning. You just said the Lagos State did absolutely no investigation on Mohbad case.
Yeah.
And listening to you earlier, you mentioned Kemi referencing some presidency knowledge as some senator and monarch. Now, let's all believe what you just said for the purpose of agreeing with you. Knowing what you know now, what would you do? How would you get mobile justice based on what you know, what your beliefs are?
Okay.
Because you don't hold on, let me slam dunk it. Every time I listen to you, in your opinion, Nigeria is a failed state. In your opinion, nothing good is coming out of Nigeria. In your opinion, you will never even visit Nigeria. So my question now goes into two aspects. If you believe Nigeria is a failed state, which some of us, we agree with you to some extent, because we have our problems in Nigeria. So you knowing that Nigeria is a failed state, but every day you have this passion about the Nigerian state, referencing Mohbad. So what is your business with a failed state? How do you plan to revive this failed state? And how do you plan to help Mohbad get justice? And I'm speaking from a friendly point of view, but sometimes friends tell each other the truth. Because when I listen to you, you make me want to cry about Nigeria. The little hope that we have, you come and you want to kill it. So what's your solution?
African.
What's your solution to this failed state, and what's your solution to knowing that in your brain police is dead on Mohbad's case, no investigation, presidency, monarch? What is your solution, my brother? I'm listening.
Okay. First of all, to number one question you ask, the part of what is my solution to the failed state. I care less about that state. So first that's knocked off. That's my response to that. Number one, because if that's my opinion. If you feel that Nigeria is robust, is a very good nation for you, is a home for you, of course, it's your own decision. You can live there, and if everything that's happening there is okay by you, it's your decision. It's not my decision. So now, my own decision is what my opinion. My own opinion is what I've expressed about the country. So the fact that I say I will never visit there is nobody's business. Is because I cherish my life, and I want to be where people cherish life, where people treasure life, not where people just treat lives like it's just mosquitoes' life. So that would be my number one explanation. So number two, with regards to Mohbad's homicide case, helping him to lending our voice to get him justice. For as much as I really, really want him to get the justice, I can't fool myself. I have to be honest. When it gets to a point, because I understand dynamics of things in life and of situations, of events in life, I understand that things change. And when they say that when the song switches, the dancer, the stepper, a good stepper, you have to switch your dance steps. Otherwise, you're going to be dancing haphazardly at loggerheads with the beat. So now, having said this, so now I'm going to say this because I know for certain that the present administration dead now will not allow Mohbad to get justice. So all my hope for Mohbad to get justice is simple. It's just hoping that an opposition party would take over from this present administration, and they would probably want to impress the people, or they want to probably make a statement by visiting Mohbad's case and do justice to that case, to that guy. That is the only hope that I have for that guy, because I have no power to make the Attorney General change his position. Nobody has that power. His position is clear. He wants to sue, he wants to prosecute the nurse. As a matter of fact, they've prosecuted the nurse and spend it. So what can I do about, what can you do about nothing? Unless you just want to fool yourself. I don't fool myself. I don't live in denial. I accept reality as is. I accept my as is. And then plan my to be. If you don't accept your as is, you need to accept that you are poor before you can be rich. If you don't accept that your natural reality is that you don't have money right now,
But Jack,
you will make moves to be rich.
Jack, you keep saying, when I heard you saying all this thing about the nurse and all that, have you forgotten that this is a murder case? If a new evidence comes out, even tomorrow after the immediate judgment, the case will be revisited. Are you aware of that?
I know. That is why I'm saying
Okay,
that my hope is in
thank you.
another administration. There are probably an opposition party that may want to impress, or they want
No,
to.
I'm just saying if you
I
have
understand. Yeah, I
if you
know.
have
I
a
know. It's a criminal
compelling
case.
evidence,
It's a criminal
even with
case.
this current administration, if you have a compelling
There's a criminal
evidence
case.
that
It's
will
there's
prove
no
it
right
beyond
country.
reasonable doubt,
Yeah,
right? It
yeah.
can be revisited.
Of course, any day, anytime.
Oh,
You
thank
know
you.
that. But that's why I'm saying that now, as it stands now, with these people in the government, with these people, look, it is only if you want to pretend to be blind to some things that you will say that there is nothing, there is no influence, there is nothing going on in this Mohbad case. If only you want to fool yourself, I don't live that way.
Jack, let me borrow brain from Richie, from the angle of Richie. I think that was Richie talking to you, if I'm correct. Now, the way you've answered, you sound like everybody pack your bag, go home until the administration changes. Nothing is going to change. That's the way you come across to me on the Mohbad case.
If you
From
have listened,
your
wait, if
no,
you
no,
have
hold
heard,
on, hold on,
wait,
hold
no,
on.
no,
You will
no, no,
explain.
because you just said something wrong. You said something wrong, so I need to correct you.
Okay, all
I
right.
have said on, and I can't remember the platform. I have said, maybe your papa, I said it, that the fire should keep burning. The people should keep talking. Why do you think I'm here? Why do you think I'm still here? If that is the case, I would have deleted this account, because I created this account just only for Mohbad. If I travel, I don't take this phone around. That's why for like more than a week I wasn't on the.
Okay, very good. You've answered correctly. You
Yeah.
said we should keep making the noise and keep the fire burning, which is what most of us are doing. Now, why is your fire not burning the candles or the matchstick of evidence? I would prefer to hear you encourage people about evidence, dig into exposing these names that you've called out, or this administration that you've called out, because the way politics is going and the way the administration is going, there is a probability that if they get away with this, they'll get away with the next administration, and we may never find that your messiah that you're saying would want to impress us to dig into the matter. So why don't we, while we are making the noise, why don't we make the noise on evidence and what we can prove rather than condemning the nation, because we're not going to take Nigeria and sell it and throw it away because it's a failed state. I mean,
Time to support what you just said, African TV. Even with this, even within this current administration, if any compelling evidence that's proven beyond reasonable doubt comes out, mobile will be revisited. Even under these people, no man is an island. They have the power. Yes, we understand that. But if you have a
Richie,
compelling evidence, we can still tackle them.
Richie, you have just said it all. Compelling evidence. Do you have compelling evidence? Does anybody here, African TV, do you have compelling evidence?
That's what we should be looking for. That's what you're saying.
Jack, you have the evidence.
Do you have
Do you know
compelling
the
evidence?
evidence?
When you,
Jack,
wait,
let me tell
how
you,
can you have
Jack,
compelling evidence? Wait.
Jack,
When the people
calm
in that
down.
house, when the people in that house have refused
Jack,
to
hold
talk,
on. Let
and
me
when
prove
the
the
parents
evidence to you.
have
Jack,
refused to support
let me prove it to
even
you. Jack,
the son, how can you have it?
Jackie, calm down. The evidence is in your voice, calling in the right direction. If you use your voice to call out the passion that you bring every time you speak, if you divert it to evidence and convince people on evidence, we will be able to get the evidence. But when you condemn the nation and you condemn the people, you have called us a failed nation, and it really hurts me. And one day I will bring you to this Nigeria and we go drink ogogoro together. Pami, I will give you, so that we will forgive you of all the condemnation against my nation, against my country. I no get any other country.
That day will
And
never happen.
you speak
African
about
TV will
killing my
never
country every day. Speak about evidence, Jack, because you have the voice. You have the gab.
TV.
You have the gab. Use it in the right direction.
African TV. Listen. Let me tell you something. Look, when we're talking about things, we need to let us not live in denial. Let us face reality. Look, Nigerians, as we speak now, if you go to Nigeria. I had someone who came to Nigeria a while ago, and the person was telling me what is in that place. Look, the people are dying of hunger. There is massive hunger in the land. They were asking for money everywhere from this person.
Okay, my brother, stop that.
Wait.
Stop
Chill.
that. No. Stop that. Hold on. You see, there is, how do I put it? There are ambiguous statements and there are factual statements. When you say people are dying of hunger, people are dying of hunger all over the world. People are dying in Israel and Gaza as we speak. 200 people gone in Benue. So the dying of hunger and the mischief of the world is not limited to Nigeria alone. And when you speak so passionately condemning Nigeria, you're doing a grave injustice to that nation.
Okay. African TV. I can see you're very, what do you call it? Patriotic. That's good. Your patriotism is very nice. Now, let me tell you this. Where were you? Where was this voice you're talking about? When this so-called your government murdered youth at Lekki Tollgate in cold blood, in broad daylight, and they denied it, and they secretly threw somebody somewhere. Until today, they cannot account for how many people they killed in that place. Where was your voice, and what did your voice do to?
Okay, hold on. Let me answer you.
I'm about to jump in between you guys. Sorry, African television.
Okay, IT. Good morning, IT.
Yeah, good morning.
IT, you will not die. You will live long.
Let
Those
him go
bastards
ahead.
that are promoting your death.
Let me
The bastards, they don't promote their father death.
No.
We need to close them
African
all.
television's just trying to kiss IT's guy's ass so he will be
don't
in
worry.
agreement.
I'm okay.
I'm not. Hey, listen. I don't kiss nobody's
Don't
ass.
worry.
I tell my truth.
Don't
I
worry.
tell my truth and I move on.
Yeah,
So
it's
don't
okay.
bring that back.
Yeah,
Don't bring
can I-
that back to under fire.
Okay, let me jump into this one. Now, for someone like myself who left Nigeria at the age of 21, not because anybody was chasing me, but the opportunity I had at the time, which I'm still enjoying, is the fact that I was born in England. So left with my brother, we came here. Forget about that. I've traveled to Nigeria so many times. There's nothing wrong with Nigeria as if you call it a third world country, you call it a developing country. Worst case scenario is happening in places like India, is happening in places like Brazil, and all this kind of stuff. Now, let's not kill ourselves Last time I went to Nigeria would have been, I don't know if it was November 2024 or so. The population in Nigeria is grown a great deal. Mismanagement of our resources is happening, and it started from the inception, regardless of when, whether it's in the 60s, whether in the 80s, where things are looking good and where everything actually fell off the cliff. Now, I have a brother in Nigeria who had the opportunity to have actually emigrated to Canada, even the UK, and he's been in UK, he's been to America, he's seen the Western culture, Western life, and he's doing very well with his family, children, his friends. When I went to Nigeria, when my dad passed away, it's nothing wrong. You see, the thing is, when we sensationalize and over sensationalize, if we look at the stats and you look at aspect of our economy, you look at our GDP compared to the rest of Africa based on our population, we're doing well. Now, issues are politically motivated, are the ones that we see every time you scroll up and down this black app. And they actually make it seem as if it's worse than it is and it's happening just now. They're just throwing this out there. And don't forget, on social media, when there's an unrest and something catastrophic happens, people are going to bring all sort of old library picture and liken it to what is happening today. But having said that, as I am right now, the opportunities are there. And if I have an opportunity today, which something is brewing in the background, I'll go to Nigeria and go and sort of like chill for 6 months and do some business. You see, the thing is, people are living in harmony. People are okay in Lagos. People are okay in Ogun State or your state, everywhere. But if there's an unrest that is politically motivated and they heighten it to a point where people want to put fear in you, Nigeria is not, it's a rogue state, it's not a failed state. People are doing well. Dangote is doing well. My brother is doing well. Various other friends I have are doing well. I have a friend who's traveled to Nigeria today, is in Lagos. He hasn't, I mean, obviously, he said, things are tough for people, inflation and all this kind of stuff. Aside that, really, people are living. People are surviving. People are setting up new businesses. People are looking for opportunity where applicable. The system is not helping us to actually encourage us to kind of do better. Look at the situation even with the young people. It used to be Yahoo, Yahoo, and all this kind of stuff that people do on social media. And that is clear that this is done everywhere in the world. India, everybody is doing Yahoo, Yahoo, and all that kind of stuff. Last time I went to Nigeria, I was quite impressed with the youth. If, let's say, the their foundation is making money off Yahoo and all, go and see what these young boys are doing. Go and see how engaging they are with the community. Go and look at hotels. Go and look at more like places you go to enjoy yourself in the evening and all those kind of situations. You go to Nigeria right now with a bit of money in your pocket, you will enjoy your life. Your life will not be at stake. Okay, you don't want to travel at night, or you know that the estates, they're going to shut the gate at night and all that kind of stuff. If you are out and about, maybe just book a hotel and stay there. Otherwise, I really don't see where the problem is for any one of us to want to perpetuate Nigeria as a failed state. The politicians have a role to play. They are not good role models. They are destabilizing the country by roguing the system into sharing resources and sharing money and all that kind of stuff. But it hasn't stopped the youth of Nigeria that Buhari said are lazy youths. Are you now telling me they are lazy youths today? How many people in the last 1 year in Nigeria have been incarcerated because they are doing Yahoo? You see, the young boys are working. Look at Konebaje and the stuff he's doing with his media. Engage with guys like that on the ground and let them enlighten you for you to know. It's just a propaganda as far as I'm concerned. Propaganda. I went to Nigeria, from Nigeria last time to Ghana about 2 or 3 times. I went with a couple of young people to introduce them to people I know in Ghana for them to be able to do business back and forth. People go through Idiroko, through Cotonou into Lagos by road. They travel by road to Ghana from Nigeria. There is no problem. Custom officer will stop you. And these guys have even got sort of like shortcut. They can more like evade even the customs on the road, Badagry Expressway or wherever the case may be. Nigeria is beautiful. And for me, Jack, I will implore you to keep your fear away and don't take your information from people who are only interested in the bad side of trade. Go to Lagos and see what's happening in Eko Island. Look at what is happening in Ireland. Go to Nigeria and see Barbing Saloon run by young people. Look at restaurants all over the place. If you want to eat amala in Lagos, they can channel you to about 15 places you can eat amala. People go to work. People look after their family. The population is grown. Everybody wants to live in Lagos. Lagos is congested, but people get by. People survive. So I'm not seeing what it is if we have to associate what is happening in Benue State right now to what is happening in Nigeria in its entirety, because this is an isolated situation. The Fulani herdsman, Fulani situation, even they rogued Lagos State at some point. We saw them on the street in Lagos State. They kept pushing them. They gave them a ranch. They won't have the ranch. Then at the end of the day, because it's politically motivated, where does a Fulani herdsman who should just have his own stick that he used to direct the herd get AK-47 from? These are politicians who are looking forward to 2027. These are the same people that have actually sort of like championed Boko Haram of today or yesterday, funding them. Where they get the vehicles from? Where do they get the fortress from? Where do they get the ammunitions from? Every time I go to Lagos, Nigeria, Lagos, I travel to Abuja. I go and chill in Abuja for a number of days. I go to Badagry by road, not by helicopter. So I bed myself into the system. I'm the IT guy. I'm a guy, you see me here differently from over there. I blend with the people. I wear sort of like an average trainers, an average shirt, and all that kind of stuff. Try and blend into the system, enjoy myself, go out in the evening. I don't get mugged anywhere. We have fun. And there's life.
IT guy, sorry. Tell
Better
Jack
life
what.
in Lagos. In
Tell Jack. Hold
Nigeria.
on, IT guy. Tell Jack the video I showed you the last time we spoke. I buy corn, hawking corns on the street, sit down, enjoy my life
Life
with
is
my feet
beautiful.
on the
Life is
ground.
beautiful. People don't worry. Look at
Life is wonderful in Nigeria.
African
Can I say
television.
something,
When
please?
African television was on Paparano's platform. African television son won, maybe got about 50K. African television was ready to go to Badagry with his family to go and enjoy the day. Life is beautiful. You have your money.
Mr.
So
Aitiga, how many family
yeah.
can afford that in Nigeria? How
No,
many family?
Salzot, this is
Not
you
because
you
Mr.
also coming
African
with the
TV can afford
negativity.
it. It
Let
means
me
the
explain.
family, the whole Nigeria can
Let
afford
me
it.
explain something
So
to you.
wait,
Salzot,
Mr. Aiti,
you are wearing me out.
in any successful country, you must count how many percentage of employees of employers. I mean, and how many
Salzot,
percentage of people who receive their pension. You
hold
have
on
to
now. You
ask
can't mix
yourself
it up.
how many percentage of people who can afford their daily
Okay, listen.
their daily bread, like
Listen.
two times a meal, if they can
Listen.
afford it.
We
That's how
cannot.
you call
What I'm
a
trying to
successful.
say to you and Jack is, we
We
cannot
talk about
go.
the
Hold
percentage,
on
not
now.
because of.
But hold on. You've gone negative all
Not
the
me,
way.
everybody is good.
Hold on, Salzos. You've gone negative 100%. Right now, my mom had stroke the last time I went to Nigeria. There are young people now who are running homes. There are young people who are running agencies. There are young people now who are looking for ways to sort of like train people who are going to go into homes to look after the aged, right? And these are young people, entrepreneurs, enterprising guys who are developing apps and tapping that into the community. You see, the thing is, sometimes people fall short. Sometimes maybe it's lack of education. Maybe it's where they are in Nigeria, lack of opportunity. Maybe people need to go out there and go and fight for themselves and not rely on government to give them everything. Now, the pension system you're talking about, depending on which sector you belong to, there are people in some sectors that don't have issues that the public sector actually has. Now, the public sector aspect will be blown up. And that is when people go into social media, those are the negativity that people actually pick up. So you can't come up and just drop all the negatives. You see, the thing is, the negatives are there. But if you look at it, people go by, look at the Akara guy on social media that I follow. He's doing well. He's looking after his family. He does his Akara. He shows us how he prepares it and how he sells stuff. There's another guy who's selling puff on the street and all that kind of stuff. And people are enterprising. People need to sort of like push themselves out. You cannot. Nigeria is a developing country. It's not England where things are there and they will say it's only if you're lazy that you don't want to work. But then at the end of the day, you still have a momentum. You have dynamics of lazy people as well who are waiting for things to come to them. You have the dynamics of the youth generation that have gone to university that are expecting everything to land on their laps. If you tell them that you have a farm, and you want to bring them, take them into sort of like agriculture
Can
and
I
all that.
respond to
They
you?
want to get their hands dirty. They want to work in offices. So we can't just come up with negative all the way and pollute everybody's mind with negative.
Can I respond to you? Can I respond to you quick?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. I actually understand where you're coming from. Now, first of all, let's clear something. Anytime I talk about, when I say Nigeria, because it's my country anyway, so I can't talk about any other person's country. Now, when we talk about country, we don't mean what is country? The country is made of is actually the people. The people. When you say a nation, you are referring a nation is made up of the people. It's the people. The nation does not kill. The name nation does not do nothing. It is just representing the people. And that is why the kind of government the people get will reflect even the true behavior of the people. So when I'm talking about the country, it's not Nigeria as in that name that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people. It is the government are the people. Civilians, they are people. We're talking about human beings now. We're not talking about, it's not the name. So that being said now, you see, I love economics very well. When you're talking about if I'm talking about Nigeria in this, anytime I talk about Nigeria, what is on my mind is not me. I'm not looking at myself. I'm looking at common man. I'm thinking of common man. I'm thinking of those guys. I'm just saying, if I go to Nigeria today, I know where I'm going to be in Nigeria, and I know I'm going to have massive fun because I've got money. I've got the monies. You understand me? But if I'm thinking like that, then I'm going to be selfish because I'm thinking about myself. I'm thinking everyone is like me that we enjoy. We are talking about every person, common man. You need to start from the grassroots. Can common man afford what you can afford? Can common man eat 3 square meals a day? Can common man afford the exchange rate of naira to pounds, which is a pound sterling to over 2,000 naira, 2,000 naira now? That's 2,000 naira. Is equivalent to a pound, even more than that. So now, can common man in Nigeria afford things that are imported? Can common man, what is the cost of living? What is the standard of living of the people? What is the cost of living? What is the standard of living of the people? What is the income? What is the income? What is the daily income? What is the monthly income? What percentage of the income can buy a bag of rice?
Jack, I will respond to you when you finish. Let me know when you finish. I want to respond to you.
Let me finish because my what I'm saying is meant for people who can think about the less privileged, the common man. The common man, not for people thinking about, if you're just thinking of what you can do. If I go to Nigeria, I will go to probably the best. I will lodge in probably the best hotel there, and I'm not going to lodge in anywhere where anybody can kidnap you or whatever. I have no problem even if I go there. But when I say I'm not going to go there, because I'm thinking about common man. Common man is not safe. And that explained the reason why Mohbad was not safe. Mohbad was not safe because he was a common man. And he was not even the average common man. He went to the police. He ran to the police. Certain people want to kill me. What happened to him? He got killed. Nothing happened. Like he's a foul. And all of us were gathered here. That's the reason why we gathered. We're crying every day. Common man in Nigeria cannot afford even 2 square meal. Every product in Nigeria is fake. Every product, most of the products, fake now, everywhere, fake drugs. Because people cannot afford it if they do the original. People that can afford it are just people like you and myself. There are people who are able, who are well to do. And that was what Salzot was saying. I was happy when she was talking. What is the standard of living? What is the standard of living? Here in the UK, in the US. I'm not trying to compare Nigeria now, I'm just saying. Why do you think everybody in Nigeria they're trying to get out of that country? Anybody who is in that country.
I heard they
It is
pay
not
me.
by their
Jack,
choice.
let me
It is not
respond
by
to
their
you.
choice.
Jack, calm down. You have
No,
said
let me
enough,
finish.
common
Let me
man.
finish.
No, let me speak for the common man in Nigeria. Hold on. You will continue.
I am a
Let
common
me,
man as
let, let,
well,
let,
so I have
let me,
something to say.
yeah, please. I just want to clear this common man syndrome, please. First, tell me how many commoners in America and UK are able to take a vacation. I put it to you that the common man in your America and your UK is thinking of the food bank to go and beg for food, lining up for handouts. Go to Skid Row in your California. You will see your common man on drug addiction, junkies. Every nation has got its lower class, middle class, and upper class. So don't say because the common man in Nigeria cannot buy a she machine, that means that Nigeria is a failed state. No, you're wrong. Now, let's come back to the case of Mohbad. This same Nigeria that you so condemn, in this same case of justice, we
This is
have
gonna
given.
be no.
Well, no, hold on, please. No, let
This
me
is
talk
gonna be
about
a
this.
dialogue because you stopped me from
Let me
talking.
make this
No,
reference,
it's gonna
please.
be a dialogue. It's gonna be a dialogue. So
Yeah,
so
but
so now
no,
what you are
you
telling me, wait.
spoke.
What you are
Jack,
telling me,
Jack, please.
is
Jack,
that
I'm
the
begging.
the
Let the people hear this
this
truth.
the
Let the people hear.
stratification, the social
Jack, you will
stratification
speak.
going on in the north, the social
Jack and
stratification going on
Jill
in the
went
north, the
up that
Amajiris,
hill
where you have the
to
Talakawas
fetch
and
a baby.
the Sarakumas. That is an artificial creation. Talakawas and the Sarakumas. I've talked about this. Maybe you were not there. Go and study very well. Go and even study your whatever, your history, whatever. This is what is happening. I'm telling you about. You're talking to me as though you're talking to someone that don't know what they're saying.
Jack,
Sarakumas and
Jack,
Talakawas, and that is what
Jack,
gave birth to the
can you let me speak?
Almajiris. Almajiris in the
Jack,
north.
can you let me
Keep
make my
deceiving
point?
yourself. You
Can you let
Nigerians,
me
you love
make
to deceive yourself,
Jackie?
and that is why
Jack,
most
can
of
I make my point,
you
please?
regret your life
Please.
at the end of the day because you deceive yourself.
Calm down, brother. Calm down, brother.
Okay,
Your forefathers
okay,
said the same thing
okay.
that Nigeria was
Mute,
right,
please. Mute,
and
please. We have somebody
Jack,
new on the
please.
platform.
they all
Please,
perished.
this conversation is not between two people. We have two new people on the platform who would like to have a voice. We have Big Holla and we have Deps. Big Holla, please speak.
Thank you. Um, First of all, I need to correct some, notations that we've been making in the previous conversation. When we talk about Nigeria and people and government, there are two different entities. Nigeria happens to be a country whereby the people who runs the affairs of Nigeria and the people in government. So imagine where you have the same Nigeria that we cost every day. It's the same Nigeria that we export crude from. It's the same Nigeria that we mine goats from. It's the same Nigeria that we export, some agricultural products from. So now imagine we having a good lead, like a good set of people running the affairs of this same Nigeria, whereby they are being held accountable for every mineral resources they exported outside the country. What does it give you? It makes that same Nigeria a better place. But when you have whole lots of insincere leaders, corrupt leaders, people who are self-centered, selfish, set of people running affairs of a country. It makes the people, that's the government, it makes them the, I don't want to use any derogative word. So directly or indirectly, I'm just trying to say it makes the people, which is the government, the bad people. So I think it's high time people get to understand the difference between the country and the government. So, having said that, imagine if all our resources are being accountable for. Should we be blaming the country? No. We should now be directing their anger towards the people in government. Some of them are your uncles, they are your aunts, they are your father, they are your mothers. But nobody will ever come publicly to say, may God punish my father, may God punish my mother. But when it comes to other people's, names, we're so eager, so angry to attack them because we're probably not in the same government, the same corrupt, system. So I'm of the opinion that, we first of all need to understand and differentiate between the country and the government. So that being said, I'm still wondering why we still know the primary cause of our problem, then we tend to shy away from it. If naira were to be $1 to 1 naira, I still don't understand why there's this cry about America and the UK, because the real sense of it is it makes no sense if I'm earning 1 naira, which is equals to America dollar, for me to now say I want to get set, I want to go to back for vacation purposes, to explore and come back. So who are the common Nigeria? Are we talking about influence here? Somebody who haven't even hitting 1 square mile out of the 2 square mile. Is that the person you want to be referred to as a common man? An average Nigerian man still, pays rent. An average Nigerian man still manages to shuttle between one work or the other. An average Nigerian man still has, one brother or sister that he still pays the school fees. But when you talk about the less privileged, then those are the people that you see on the street. Those are the people that give you, their story, then you'll be touched emotionally. Imagine me calling on my Dangote now that I needed, like, imagine 100 million. You'll be surprised if you tell me that's the least of his own problem, because he still needs like maybe over 100 trillions of dollars for some certain businessman. So in other words, would I refer to him as a poor man because he needs money too? No, it's just that our scales of preferences are different. So the real fact or the real anger, yes, should be people in government. So I time we stop, talking about Nigeria as like, very bad or worse country. Meanwhile, it is the same country whereby, golds and the rest of the minerals are being exported from. But what happens to the country? It's in a mess because some people who probably have no idea of what governance is. In the same institution, when we because I heard Jack talking about the country failed mohbad. No, the people, the institutions failed mohbad. It's the same institution that was unable to address hunger. It's the same institution that was unable to provide jobs for people. It's the same institution that was unable to provide basic health care for people. Yet we still want to blame the country. Why? Yet you have people in government. We have all of those people in government. Yet they will still come back to you guys and say, "Okay, I'm going back to the state house and take this so money for your constituency," and we collect it and we still find back that day. Them. So it's so crazy. I really don't want to get emotional and talk about things that would just give me a bad day. I think that should be all for now.
Thank you for that submission. Daps, do you have something to say?
Yeah, hello, good morning, everyone. So, from the submission everyone has been giving in the past few minutes, I would like to emphasize one thing. We all know the current situation of our country, and we understand this country has been a developing country for a while now. And what we should always have at the back of our mind is as much as there is a bad side of the country, there are also good side of the country as well. And when someone wants to emphasize on the bad side, for me, I feel like it's more like you're trying to, like, you want to share pick what option you feel like, oh, you want to talk about. There is inflation in every part of the world. Even Ghana, I was seeing the video of how the purchasing influence in Ghana it has been so poor in the past few months. The exchange rate in Ghana might looks like it makes more sense than our currency, but the purchasing ability you have in Ghana is not the same you have in Nigeria. So when people want to come on the internet based on the fact that they live abroad or they try to mingle with people from the Western world, they want to see themselves like the Western world people, or they want to have the mindset